Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the name is the one who made the public know about
it. Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your Premium Talk Radio station.
We are your Premium Talk Radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
My name is Victor Ezama.
My name is Chinedu Iwuna.
Guys, you're welcome.
This is The Big Stories, a program where news professionals here at Today FM take another look at the stories that made headlines over the last 7 days. The Big Stories is where we attempt to resolve the bone of contention.
Are these not the kind of things we're supposed to see in our country when situations like this occur?
With expert analysis.
Yeah, first off, they have an organized system. I think the system works naturally.
Who were they loyal to? The president obviously was losing out. The president is supposed to be the commander-in-chief, right?
Yes.
But he was losing out. The protest was in his favor.
I see politicians in Nigeria, I see governors as people who just come together to put up policies that will only favor them.
Banter and more.
I came to find out that you can actually sell your name.
How possible?
I don't know, man.
No, Nigeria has developed that kind of technology that can reprint this thing outside the federal government.
At the end of the day, who are you loyal to?
Nigerian governance system.
Totally
Everything
different.
always ends in ruffle.
The Big Stories is a Today FM newsroom production, and it comes your way every Sunday at 8 p.m. on your premium news, talk, and sports radio station, Today 95.1 FM.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the name is the one who made the public know about
Good
it.
afternoon and welcome to the World News on your Premium Talk Radio station.
We are your Premium Talk Radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
It's that time on radio. Let's take you into the life and times of men and women who inspire, role models who have shaped the world.
He was a great scholar whose relevance surpasses the shores of Nigeria and Africa. His name is Senator Dr. Obiwale. Obiwale was born on 27th February 1932 in Rumigbo Town, headquarters of the Apara Kingdom in Obiakpon local government area of Rivers State. He was called Obiajumo at birth, being the first surviving child of his parents, Chief Frank Wale Otubo and Mrs. Jenny Wale, a granddaughter of the prominent Ezebunwo Waduba of Orowokwo Rebisi in Port Harcourt. He started his primary education at the Holy Trinity School, Rumapara, very close to his father's compound, from 1938 to 1943. Thereafter, he acquired printing skills as well as organizing evening classes for the Standard 6 candidates in 1946. Dr. Wale was later admitted to the prestigious West African Institute, Calabar, in Cross River State in 1947. His parents became uncomfortable with the distance between them and their only son and therefore changed his school to St. Augustine's Anglican Grammar School, Nkwere, in Imo State, where he wrote the Cambridge School Certificate Examination and passed in Division 1. Between 1952 and 1955, he was offered a job at the Tropical Testing Establishment in Port Harcourt as a lab assistant, which he rejected, and later got a job as a clerk at the Residence Office in Cameroon, where he also gained typing skills. In 1955, he gained admission into the Premier University College, Ibadan, where he earned a BA in English Language and Literature with second-class upper division. After his graduation, Wale worked with the Federal Civil Service as an administrator with the Ministry of Works and Survey, Lagos in 1959, and later got a job with the University of Ibadan as an assistant lecturer in the Department of English. Thereafter, he transferred to the University of Nigeria in Nsukka, where he taught courses including Introduction to African Literature. Wale presented his paper in 1962 at the Makerere University, Uganda, at the first major conference on New African Writing at the institution. The well-known paper was later published in the 10th issue of the Transition magazine. Wale obtained his master's degree in English and Literature in 1963 at the Northwestern University, Everton, USA, and his doctorate degree in 1967 in the same subject. The outbreak of Nigerian Civil War in July 1967 and the creation of Rivers State fueled Wale's interest in politics. He was one of the founding fathers of Rivers State, Nigeria, and served as its first Commissioner for Education under the DSP's administration. In 1975, Zamani Lukwat, the then military head of Rivers State, appointed him the chairman of the Governing Council of the Rivers State Technology. He was also elected councillor in 1977 for Ward 26, comprising Rumigbo, Rumepericum and Rumorossi communities in Port Harcourt City local government area. In 1978, Dr. Wale joined partisan politics as member of the then Nigerian People's Party (NPP) and became one of the 6 deputy chairmen of the party. He was also appointed member of the 1978 Constituent Assembly and a member of the Constitution Drafting Committee that drafted the 1979 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Wale was elected senator representing Port Harcourt Senatorial District in 1979, and in 1980 he was elected the minority leader of the House of Senate, Federal Republic of Nigeria. As a politician, he is most remembered for championing the cause of the Ikwere ethnic minorities in Nigeria. Senator Wale was one of the best-known leaders from the Niger Delta region to consistently campaign against the marginalization of the Niger Delta people, particularly the Ikwere ethnic nationality. He fought for the creation of Port Harcourt State out of the then Rivers State, Nigeria. Wale campaigned for the correction of the imbalances in the socio-economic and political power of the Nigerian state throughout his political career. He is also remembered for his call for a critical examination of Nigeria's commitment to the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. Besides his contribution to the politics of Nigeria, Wale also contributed immensely to the literary works in the African hemisphere and globally. When in 1963, he contributed his controversial essay, The Dead End of African Literature, where he declared that literatures written in European languages did not qualify as African literature, although Chinua Achebe opposed his opposition. Other African literary giants accepted his works, such as Ngugi wa Thiong'o, who later changed his name to a traditional African name following Wale's argument. Wale was violently murdered and dismembered at home in his bedroom by a suspected hired assassin on April 26, 1993. The reason for the murder remained unestablished. However, many speculated that it was in connection with his political opinions. Some notable statesmen were accused of complicity in Wale's murder, and he was later buried on 24 February 1994. In 2014, the Obiwale International Conference Center was opened to the public in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, created and named in the memory of Obiwale's political and literary contributions to the state. And finally, the Ikwere people organized an annual memorial lecture in Obiwale's honor.
Personality profile. Now you know.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
If you had 3 minutes on radio, what would you say with it? What would you do with your free 3 minutes? Sell it? Amplify your voice? Or play your favorite song? Wow, here comes your wish. In celebration of World Radio Day, Today FM Pawtucket is giving you, yes you, 3 minutes for 2 days, absolutely free. Oh wow. All you have to do is go on Twitter, follow our handle at TodayFM951. Tell us what you will do with your free 3 minutes. Tag the station at TodayFM951 and do not forget to include hashtag World Radio Day and post. The person with the highest retweet wins. Very simple, very radio. Terms and conditions do apply. Terms and conditions do apply.
It's 33 minutes after 10. You're listening to Today 95.1 FM. So for the next couple of minutes, we'll be talking on something really exciting. I guess for the rest of us who work in the industry, we'll find that exciting. We're talking about the World Radio Day. Today has been set aside as a day to celebrate the radio. And as a World Radio Day and those involved in the industry, we're looking at the evolution of radio and how much radio has contributed to mankind, its existence, its abilities. I mean, what the radio can do. It will be part of the conversation we'll have today on the show. And I did want you to realize that as long as we have the other promo going on, it's important that a takeaway from this is, you know, the fact that radio wants to be closer to you than it used to be. The theme for this year's World Radio Day is New World, New Radio. And as we advance into new realities, we're beginning to see how the radio itself has manifested itself. And in a tool for communication, how strategic is radio. This is something that we'll be looking at, and I will be having on the show with me to talk about that Dr. Inserika. He's the head of Department Mass Communications, River State University, and I'll see if I can get him on real quickly, and then we'll have that talk with him. All right, so we're waiting to see if we can get catch up with Dr. Inserika. Good morning, Doctor. Do we have you on the line? All right, well, we'll still have to try that again and see if we can get him.
It's 10:35 a.m.
All right, well, in any which case, we'll start off the conversation and hopefully he'll be able to catch up with us looking at the radio and how strategic radio is. I mean, I found people who says one of the reasons why they listen to radio is because it's almost like a carry-on. Hello, Doctor. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Good to have you on the show.
God bless you.
All right, so Dr. Inserika is, like I said earlier on, he is the head of Department Mass Communications, River State University, and we're talking about radio and the strategicness, or shall I say, the opportunity available with the radio, the tool radio, when it comes to communication, and for someone who, you know, has had the ability to look at the various tools for communication, how would you rate the radio?
The radio is one of the most penetrating, the most pervasive media of communication. The radio is pervasive, its signals are pervasive, its messages are penetrating. Because the radio is accessible to more people than some other media of communication. The radio, you can easily get it. You can operate your radio with a battery. Something like television is not what you can operate without power, either public power or something like generator. But the radio, because it uses just dry cells, you can easily afford the radio. And because it's easily affordable, the messages from the radio are there. And you can have even somebody who is a palm wine cover, or somebody who is tapping, climbing some trees for one purpose or another, can also have transistor radio at his back. So because of that, messages from the radio seem to be very, very penetrating. Radio has a very wide reach for that singular purpose of its accessibility.
Fantastic. So, I mean, we have seen this thrive, maybe all through the years, how pervasive radio has been. Would you say now, because the theme for this year is New World, New Radio, and we're looking at how radio is dealing with the new realities available. There is the internet, and do you think that in any form is upstaging the values or the strategy with which radio was able to employ?
Can you repeat that?
I said the theme for this year. Let me start from that. The theme for this year is New World, New Radio, and I want to ask whether you think there's any threat to the sustainability of radio in what it has been able to achieve in the past, going forward with the new realities we have in our new world.
There are threats to the sustainability of the radio, but those threats at the end might not prevail. It's one thing to have a threat, and it's another one for you to be defeated by the threat. So we have the internet and other forms of the mass media. That was why when I started, I said the radio is one of the most penetrating. I don't see radio as the most, because I also consider the internet. So sometimes, like when you are making statements, you make non-committal statements, especially when you are living in a digital age like this, where you have communication coming from different sources. You have the internet and then other forms of communication. The social media are there, and they are attempting frontal attacks against the radio. But the radio has stood the test of time. No matter the distractions from other forms of the media, like the internet, the social media, and all that, the radio will still stand because of its unique advantage of being in one's hand. We know that we have the Android phone that gives you messages, but the radio, I don't think, can be defeated by all this. Yes, the use of the radio may somehow decline. The use of the radio may somehow diminish, but that is for those who are non-disciplined. Remember that the internet, the social media, they are online means. Yes. They are not mainstream. So you still have some persons who prefer mainstream media to this online media, especially adults who have enjoyed the services, the messages from the radio, television, newspapers, and magazines over the years. So even with the emergence of the internet, which is becoming very overwhelming, you still have a lot of people who will enjoy the services of the radio. So I still think that the sustainability of the radio is still there, even if it's being threatened.
All right then. Okay, so when we look at our radio culture in Nigeria, let me look at that here. Would you say that we have a thriving radio culture? I particularly understand that, you know, up north we have a more radio listening audience than we have down south. This is what I have come to discover. But do you think that we have any other changes to this notion I have? Do you think that's not true, that maybe we do have a balanced level of ratio to listening to radio? Or you think you do agree with me that the north does have more inclined to listening to radio than the south of Nigeria?
I agree with you. The north is a more listening audience than the other parts of the country. They tend to be very conservative. And that is because it appears it's not, what I'm saying is not a product of any research, but by observation. Yes. The northern person seems to be more glued to the radio than the social media. The people who are giving more attention, not by product of any research, I've said, those from the south, southwest, they are more inclined to, using the internet. Using the various platforms on the net. So the north, as I've said, yes, but we have a very large population. We have a very large population, and that is an advantage to the radio, because the north actually is a more listening public than this part of the country. So I feel that with that, and coupled with the fact that we still have some other persons there, they listen to the radio, they watch the television and other things, and they are also on the social media. So I cannot say that because it is the north that listens more. Because during the elections, for instance,
yes,
you see every northerner on the streets, say in River State, being glued to the radio. The Northerners are more politically alert, and they are more politically active. And during elections, before long, if there is any election, you see Port Harcourt even getting almost empty of the Northerners because they have to go home and then cast their vote, want to perform their civic responsibility. And some of us will be busy asking what we have gained over the years from casting our votes during elections and all that. So, but the Northerner, whether something good is part of it or not, the Northerner will be there to vote. The Northerner will make sure he is there during elections, and whether they are even using ethical means or non-ethical means, that doesn't matter. What matters to them is that they are getting involved in election. While we are busy here probing into why and this and that, will you give me something? After all, when you are voted in, you get to wherever you're going, you will not remember me again. The Northerners will not think that way. So I feel that while they are more active, while they are a more listening public than us, the radio as one of the most penetrating media is stayed there. The radio will actually sustain, no matter the press from different parts of, different communication media, different communication media. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when it comes to communication media, and I'm just going to ask this, a lot of it you have print, and also on the internet, there is also a lot of print. A lot of the information also taken from the internet is printed. We're not taking away the part where you have voice clips and video clips that also help with the messages that are being passed on social media. But for radio and television, radio particularly is just a voice. And then for television, you have the voice and the video clips. So, I'm taking this into cognizance. The fact that you have a listening audience in the North who are more inclined to listening to radio, and maybe an audience here in the South that is more with the print, will rather read and go on the internet and also read. Would you say that in forms of communication, that the voice has a play as to how the communication is received, the voice passing the message, or that the message itself was communicated via voice? Does that have a way in affecting how the message is received?
Yeah. You have the voice, and then you have the visuals. Yes, the visuals provide a kind of a more lasting vision than the voice. There is this saying that the ear is a less patient organ than the eye. And that's why when you are communicating via radio, you have to make sure you sound pictorial, because your listener does not see what you are talking about. Your listener only hears you. So because the ear is a less patient organ than the eye. The eye is more patient, like when you read.
Yes.
When you read the magazine, you read the newspaper. But when you are only listening, the message does not get a lasting impression. Does not have the lasting impression.
The attention span is shorter.
The eye and the eye, like for audio visual. So because what you see seems to last longer in your memory than what you just hear. It provides a kind of everlasting vision. So to that extent, one can say that the radio is not be as effective as a medium that provides audio-visual signals like the television. But because those in the North have been used to the radio, they have become so used to it that whatever I do, they will get the message. But certainly, you cannot compare somebody who just listens to the one that is about listening and then seeing the messages. Yes, so we feel that that one has a greater advantage. Even if the radio is penetrating, it has a greater advantage than the medium that is just penetrating in the sense of the signal. But it remains in the realm of listening and hearing. So even if I'm taking my position that the radio is one of the most penetrating media, I cannot at the same time say that it has the most effective message. Because what you see and hear will certainly be more lasting in your memory and your mind than what you just hear.
What you hear. Indeed. All right. Just before I let you go, Doc, in the new world as we are, and in tandem with the theme for this World Radio Day, do you think that in shaping the realities of the new world of today, that we can see radio playing an active part there? Because for me, a lot of people would tell me that, the internet has come into play and there's so much going on there, especially for the younger population. And the younger population obviously being the future, that there is very little radio can do in designing the kind of future that we have now. That is left in the hands of the internet.
Well, the radio is a mainstream medium. The television is a mainstream medium. Newspaper and the magazine. These are mainstream media. And there is this impression we have about them. You know, there's a difference between the professional journalist and then the citizen journalist.
Yes.
Most citizen journalists we have, they have the internet, the social media platforms, social networking sites as their own media. And we do know, especially those who are professionals, that messages through the radio, which is mainstream, television, newspaper, and the magazine, which are mainstream, are more reliable than those that are online. We also know that there are professionals who use online media, but then it appears that more of the people who are more fascinated about the online thing are amateurs, especially the citizen journalists.
Yeah.
So when they transmit their messages, sometimes they are not guided by the ethics of journalism. And for that reason, one cannot trust online messages from citizen journalists as much as you trust a professional journalist. You know, for their messages, the messages by citizen journalists are hardly attributed, they are hardly verified, and you have sources of the information not being well identified. These are some of the criteria for objectivity. And so where you don't have these criteria being preponderant, you cannot trust messages from the net, even if it involves broadcasting, maybe streaming messages online.
Don't we think?
So I still want to feel that the radio, because it's a mainstream medium, still has an active role to play, even in the new world of radio.
Yeah, this is the angle. See, that we believe that there are a lot of mistruths that are peddled online, maybe because of the way a number of people who can access it and whether they don't have any regulating body there. Isn't that the reason why then there should be some sort of fear as to the kind of future we're creating, seeing that younger people tend to go to these platforms for their source of information, which also helps in shaping and aiding the decisions they take?
I have the answer I've given tells you that the radio is more reliable as one of the mainstream media because of the lack of regulatory body. Let's say for now. So no matter how overwhelming, no matter how penetrating, also, no matter how glamorous, and no matter how appealing messages online, because some of them are also visuals, like those who post their things online also use visuals. And when they also post their news stories seem to be more appealing, they seem to be more fanciful and all that. That does not mean that messages through the mainstream media are less accurate than this other one. The mainstream media still stand a unique position because of professionalism and because of the observance of media laws and ethics. That's my position. So I think that even if the world is now, kind of
in an internet age,
the internet thing, the mainstream media cannot fail. The mainstream media would always stand because of unique advantages that would derive from them.
Dr. Nserika,
with radio inclusive, yes.
Dr. Nserika, HOD, Mass Communication Department, Rivers State University. Has been amazing talking to you today on World Radio Day. I appreciate you taking out time to speak with me on this.
God bless you. journey.
All right, then. Thank you very much. That's where we will wrap up on that conversation. I think I have a few minutes on the clock, and I really want to hear from the rest of you how you think radio has impacted you and the role you think radio has to play in the new world. Because, I mean, things are being shaped steadily by the means of communications as we have. So it's either the world is being shaped by what we see through television or what we see on the internet, or it's being shaped by what we're reading from the newsprint or what we're listening to from radio systems and what we're listening to from podcasts that we have on the internet. But our world is being shaped by these different channels of communication. And that means the emerging world that we will have will be from these platforms that I have mentioned. What role do you think radio plays there? That's a very simple question, I want to presume. What role do you think radio plays there? And what do you enjoy most about radio? Let's make it also simple. What do you enjoy most about radio? It's World Radio Day, and the theme for this is New World, New Radio. And I'd like to hear from you concerning that. We have 5 minutes on the clock. We can do that real quickly. 0810-951-0951 or 0817 00951. Those are the numbers for you to dial to get through to us, or send us text messages. Send them to 07019339962, 07019339962, and we'll have a quick talk on that. But in the interim, let me quickly remind you about the promo we have going on in celebration of World Radio Day. We're asking you to tell us what you would do with 3 minutes. If you had 3 minutes on radio, what would you use those 3 minutes to do? Now, we're giving you not just 1 3 minutes, we're giving you 2 3 minutes for 2 days. That means you have 1 free 3 minutes today, you have 1 free 3 minutes tomorrow. What would you do with it? You have to go on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @TodayFM951. Make sure that you are following us on Twitter. Let's hear from you what you would do with your 3 minutes. Don't forget to add the hashtag World Radio Day, and also that you say New World, New Radio. The person's whoever, or should I say the person's post, or the post that has the highest retweets gets it. You get your 3 minutes on radio. You can do whatever you want to do with it. So I'm still expecting calls 0810-951-0951 or 0817-000951. Let's hear from you what you think about radio in the emerging world, what role you think radio can play or is playing, and what you like best about the radio. This is all I need to hear from you on. Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. What's your name?
Yeah, this is Honorable Chris. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Chris, great to have you. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me talk about the importance of radio in the life of human beings. Let me tell you, since I started following media, I'm now enjoying many things I've been liking for many years. You know, this media is something that our colonial masters used to deal with our forefathers. But since I know that there is power in the media, that is why many radio stations are running from me. They are running away from me because I will give you the wrong message. But there's something I need to understand. Why all these things that you see something, for example, now accidents happen here right now, for example, and I'm telling you the way the thing take happen. You don't want to take it. You say no. Paint it the other way. Don't say that people died. Just put it like say it looks as if allegedly. When you know that this is not the right word to use. Why media forcing us to lie? Why are they using media to confuse some set of people because of NBC, this and that? Is this NBC, the hate truth? If, for example,
I think we've had enough of your examples. So this is your problem with media. We've gotten that part.
I have said the key of media. That is why I must speak the truth, and everybody should say the truth so that this country should forget about this NBC and allegedly.
We can't forget about NBC, unfortunately. But thank you very much for being part of the conversation. All right, the phone lines are still open. 0810-951-0951. Hello.
Good morning to you, Chancellor Annie.
Good morning from the Taproot. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Real Gift.
Well, We're talking about radio or media.
Radio. No. Today is World Radio Day, so it's radio, please.
Exactly.
Focus.
So let's go with radio. For me, for me, I think radio to a large extent developed me intellectually. But I remember vividly from way back, I used to buy transistor radio, especially way back it was BBC. That got me attracted to radio, where they give their news and what have you. But recently, especially in Nigeria, where the radio stations started springing up, all well and good. It now gave us variety, to choose from.
Yeah.
And I think radio plays a very prominent role, not just in building society, but also shaping the society and individuals intellectually. So for me, I think radio, for me, will remain relevant till the end of time. For me, I think one of the negatives,
yes,
to me, when it comes to radio is that I don't have a quarrel with the NBC anyway, because I remember the 1994 genocide in Rwanda. What propelled it somewhat was the power of radio. People listened to some persons who used the power of radio to brainwash them, and today we talk about genocide. So for me, I think there should be caution, even though I know radio will remain relevant.
Thank you so much, Real Gift. Got to hear from you on this, and let's move on to this text message. It says, radio to me is an eye-opener, and it has enlightened me a lot. This is from John Osuji. Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Good morning, Annie.
Morning, what's your name?
I'm Obina.
All right, Obina, great to have you. Go ahead.
I'm very happy about the World Radio Day because my name is Radio Self. I'm telling you. I use, when I started listening to radio, when there is no phone, I know those smaller radios have 2-finger battery. I used to hang it on my shoulder. And I have joy every time I listen to radio. And I have joy too anytime I call and condemn anything that government is doing. So, to me, there is power in the radio. There is very, very strong power in radio that even can destroy or make something to be good. So, please, my sister, everybody have to wake up. Anything concerning radio, come out and tell us the one that is true. Nobody should come and lie on the radio. Then finally, let me ask about my radio friend because I don't want to ask before. What of Canada?
He's fine. Canada is fine.
I hope everything is okay.
He's fine. I just answered you. I said Canada is fine.
Thank you very much.
All right,
God
then.
bless.
Okay, then. And then let's move on. Let's see if we can take another call. All right. But we'll be wrapping up in just a moment. It's already 11 o'clock on the dot. Let's see if I can take this text here before we go. This is here. Annie, good morning. I'm Louis in Rupoku. Like they say, the information is power. As for me, I prefer the information I get from radio because it's regulated. Because on social media, anybody can just post any video or audio. You can't really tell if it's true or false. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. You're the last caller.
Yeah, good morning, Annie.
Yeah, good morning. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is John.
All right, go ahead. Could you speak up a bit louder?
You see why the problem I have.
Please, can you speak up? I can hardly hear you.
Okay, I said first of all, I want to commend the effort of the nation in kind of the effort they have put in informing people. Some of us would have been as educated as we have been today, if not listening constantly listening to the stations. But my problem is the way federal government stereotype radio stations, make radio stations try to be a stereotype kind of something. For instance, when information is out there, except whatever government wants us to talk about or listen or talk about, we won't talk about it. We won't allow us to talk about it. Just like this electricity, when the issue come out, people were reporting them actual things that happening there. The government was saying something different, and that was the only thing that government was saying. People allow us to talk about. So until when government they keep on changing the story, and whatever they bring out, that's the only thing people allow us to talk about. Until at the end of the day, the whole truth come out. Whether you that has been the situation all along.
So why do you like radio?
Like radio because of the informative programs, and most especially Today FM. Because I've been added listener of radio right for many years. And for me, I have been more educated than many people that have not been even been to university. Even the English I'm speaking today is as a result of
listening to radio.
Listening to radio station. I'm someone that's born and brought up in the village. I never had a formal education. My parents. So when I came to Canada, I discovered listening to radio station, and it had helped me a lot. I remember when I came to Port Harcourt newly, I couldn't even speak English initially.
Well, I'm happy for your progress. Thank you very much. I've got to let you go, though. Radio is one of the means of disseminating information to the society. Blessing Jumbo, you send that in. Thank you, Blessing. And this here says, radio has been, for me, my body. I'm everywhere with it. I'm always tuned into one radio station or the other, and I got information and entertainment. And for me, it is a great companion. I don't think I would let it go. Please don't let it go. Don't let it go. Let the love proceed to the 14th of February. Okay, so we have to go, though. But before I do, let me just quickly let you know again that we do have our World Radio Day promo going on. We want you to go on Twitter. Follow the station on Twitter at TodayFM951. And then let us know what you would do with free 3 minutes. We're giving you free 3 minutes for 2 days. So 1 free 3 minutes today, 1 free 3 minutes tomorrow. Let's know what you will do with it. Put it up on Twitter. Tag us. That is tag Today 95.1 FM. Tag the station at Today 951 FM to your post. Don't forget to put the hashtag today. Don't forget to put the hashtag New World Radio Day, New World, New Radio. That has to be part of your message. And the person with the highest retweets. Simple. That's all. No other mechanics. No other things, no hidden charges there. The person with the highest retweets gets it. And that's what we're giving out to you as promo. Go ahead and do that quickly. You have till 12 midnight today. And we have to take the break. When we come back, we'll be chatting up on another program. So you don't want to touch that dial.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the name is the one who made the public know about
Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your premium talk radio station.
We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Here at Today 95.1, we keep the conversations rolling. Keep it going. We keep it flowing. We keep it...
Guy, don't do that.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Voice of the people.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
We hear of these words every day. Never lie, cheat, steal, or drink.
What?
If you must lie, lie in the hands of the one you love. If you must steal away from bad company. If you must cheat death.
And if you must drink in the moments that take your breath away. Remember, happiness is free. Don't be a fool. Proudly brought to you by Today 95.1 FM. Voice of the people.
introduce social transformation. We have Professor Chief Andrew Efemini, who will be taking over here with his weekly program. Good morning, Prof.
Yes, good morning, Wanyoma. Listeners, you are welcome to another edition of Social Transformation. Last week, we tried to understand why we have humanitarian emergencies in Nigeria and, of course, Africa. And we identified, do I say failure or lack of commitment to state building? Because I made a distinction between state building and state making. What colonialists did was to create a state for us in 1914 and took no proper step to build it. And we too have not taken the necessary step to build democracy, to build a state in Nigeria. And that is why our state, as we know it today, is facing all sorts of centrifugal conflicts, polarizing and making it almost impossible for us to live like human beings, properly civilized. So what I decided to do today is to say, well, why don't we even interrogate this concept of democracy, this concept of development. What is development? Because it is not enough for you to critique your society and to press for a better society without helping the people and then getting the people to interrogate what is actually development and where, as a people, they should be going that they are not going to. So I think that we need to save time because we have it's 10 minutes past 11 already. So I will initiate the discussion and quickly open the phone line so that as we intervene and make contributions, we will enrich our discussions. You know, generally, people know that the development is about qualitative improvement in the living conditions of people. That is as simple as some people try to make it look. And in that way, they think that all societies are developing and therefore they congratulate ourselves. And you hear politicians talk about dividends of democracy, and more or less they are referring to development without mentioning development. But you see, in the literature and in the scholarship on development, there is a distinction between growth and development. Specifically, there's a distinction between economic growth and development. The child you give water and garri all the time will grow, but may turn out to be physically underdeveloped. In other words, the child might suffer malnutrition, but is grown. Might even suffer brain damage as a result of the feeding pattern, poor homes and things like that. So, but the child is growing. That doesn't mean the child is developing. The child doesn't go to school. It's not properly taken care of. But the child is an adult. The child has grown up. So, we try to get people to understand that a society can be experiencing growth while experiencing underdevelopment. I want people to carefully come to terms with these things. Like I said, I will try my best to be on this program for at least 3 months and then see what happens after that. I'm saying that a society can be experiencing growth while experiencing underdevelopment. And perhaps that is the lot of most African countries. Growth without development. And it should be them, we should be curious to say, how can our society be experiencing growth and experiencing underdevelopment? I'm careful to choose my words because these are not things you normally come across in a regular radio program. They say we are celebrating Radio Day. So on this Radio Day today, you have it in your memory that we discussed development and that you are now familiar with development. Like I keep saying, these politicians, wherever you are, you should record this program and go and reflect on this, on what we discuss, so that you can use it to improve what you do in the name of service to the Nigerian people. Now, what does growth then entail if it is not development? You see, a society can be growing if its GDP is increasing. If you spend 10 billion today as annual budget, tomorrow it spends 12 billion, the next time it spends 14 billion. That is evidence that the society's economy is growing. When the GMP is also improving, you say it is growing. When there is evidence that the per capita income is income over population of a society, is also increasing. You can say, oh, the economy is growing. But you see, we have come to regard these indices of development as abstract. In fact, they are so misleading that we don't ever want to use them again as measurement for development. If you take the issue of per capita income as an example, it is now clear that 1% of our population control over 80% of our resources. 1% of our population. And when you want to calculate GDP or per capita income, you take Dangote's words, take who are these rich people, you know them, take their words, put them together, and then add the feminine and the rest of you as population we share. So by Nigeria GDP, per capita income, I may be rich as $20,000. Whereas in truth, I don't even have $100. So you have people in the rural communities whose being are calculated in per capita income. They don't even have up to 100 naira. But when you're calculating per capita income, they count. So that one is the worst. It is in fact too evil to ever be used in modern measurement of what's going on. The reason is that distribution of wealth, welfare needs of ordinary people are usually not properly reflected when you use per capita income. And these are some of the reasons why I quarrel with economists a lot. Because they use these abstractions to say things about society when the concrete reality is that those things are irrelevant. Now, the per capita income, your country can be growing in wealth and those things may not even be your own. That is a simple way to put it. They can be owned by outsiders. They can be owned again by the privileged, let me use Karl Marx words, the privileged bourgeoisie or petit bourgeoisie, the ruling class, the oppressive class. They can own all the resources or most of the resources, and they leave the majority of the population wallowing in poverty, living subsistence, living hand to mouth, begging, rural farming, all those things that don't show that they are even human beings. They live that kind of life. You see, so economic growth, again, is a very dangerous way of measuring development. Not even schools they build in your communities. Not even hospitals they put in your communities. Not even roads they put in your communities, which are evidence of economic activities increasing. can be used to measure what we call development as it is today. The reason is that you can have schools that underdevelop your people. The teachers there are not qualified. The conditions for learning are not international in standard. But you have a school produce half-baked human beings that can't compete beyond their immediate environment. These are the issues. That is why I want those of us listening not to join in praise singing of political leaders, clapping for them, when in reality their activities are underdeveloping the country. Remember, this is our social transformation. Social transformation definitely must go with development. It is about development. It is not about projects that are cited. Now, I want to get back. If I've managed to let people know what is that economic growth is not development. Again, let me make the point. Economic growth is necessary for development. Without economic growth properly defined, you can't have development, but it is on its own, not development. You see the difference? If your economy is not properly planned, go around and things like that, you can't even start to talk about development. That's why I say it's a necessary condition, but it is not sufficient on its own. Economic growth is not enough to be made to let us know what development is. I hope I have managed to get us to know that certain things around you people, those isolated primary schools you have in your village that they come and put teachers and they even build tomorrow and promise you secondary school, it doesn't mean that you people are developing. You people can be underdeveloping. Now, what is development? So that we manage time, because I want as many of you to call in and join this discussion. What is development then? Prof said, oh, it's not this, it's not this. Okay, we understand this. What is it? The first thing you must bear in mind is that development is about human beings. Is it clear? Development is about what is happening to human beings. It is measured by the quality of life. How people live, how they die, how they socialize, the quality of basic needs available to them, the level of employment in your society, and the quality of social justice that governs each society. I've used technical concepts, but we need to understand them in their most basic and simple sense. You cannot have development in a society where more than 60% of the population are living either below or approximately at the poverty line, defined as 400 and something naira a day, $1.9. Let's say 700 naira a day. I think that the people don't even know that in Nigeria, some don't even have 100 naira a day. I don't even know who told them that minimum wage or whatever they call it, poverty line is $2. How many people earn $2 in Nigeria a day? How many? So this was, you can see again, misleading figure on us. Bet me millions of Nigerians don't see 100 naira a day. Some don't earn at all. Check the number of destitutes, the number of beggars, the number of proletariats who manage to secure job today, they don't secure tomorrow, who live daily through daily employment, who have to cater for family. By the time they bring the little and share among the family, it's not up to 100 naira a day. And there are millions, which means whatever you call economic growth in Nigeria is done at the expense of the vast majority of the people. And meanwhile, that is the purpose of government. The purpose of government is to ensure, because government is all of us, everybody put together in a leadership. That's what we call government. Everybody living in River State, is Wike and those walking around. That's what we call government. Every person, not some. Meanwhile, access to quality education, has become a problem in Nigeria. With millions not able to read and write. With millions others writing but can't write sense. Again, these are the real issues when you want to measure development. How many people have access to decent, highest quality of healthcare compatible with healthcare in other parts of the world? How many? Less than 1% of our population. Again, these are the real issues about development. The crown of it all, according to one of my friends, I used to crack joke on Facebook. He said, what's the difference? He said the overall of it is that development is about self-reliance. Development actually is about what you can do for yourself. That is why I'm always very angry. When I wake up in the morning, I discover that the toothbrush I use, the paste, everything I use, there is none that we can do without foreign support. There is none that the eyeglass I use, the car, everything. I cannot see Nigeria thoroughly anytime I come out of my house. So from head to toe is Nigeria. I can't imagine where we are. You look at it, you are listening to me, look around you. Check how many things that you people as a country, as a society, that you produce on your own. You see, as I raise these challenges, I'm already challenging you people as to what needs to be done. Contained in my analysis is an idea of what government should actually be about. There is a joke they crack I saw on Facebook that when cargo planes come to Nigeria and drop all we know how to buy, they use sandbag to stabilize the plane while flying back because they fly empty. You are not listening to me. Oh. Cargo planes come to Nigeria. They use sandbag to stabilize the plane before they fly back because you people have nothing to carry to the world. This is shameful, but it is true. It is true what people sell. The same thing that happens in plane happens in ships. Vessels go back empty. After bringing, and you people leaving what Achebe of blessed memory calls cargo cult mentality. Cargo, people live by cargo. Importation. Now the container don't come. How many containers are you expecting? These are how you have lived for close to a century. If it even took colonial masters to come here, why colonizing you people? They force these people to produce cocoa, force these people to produce coffee, force these people to produce rubber, force these people to produce palm oil. Forced. I'm telling you, granola forced. And these were the things they then put railway line and moved to the seaports and took abroad. In other words, we became part of the economy because colonial masters forced you people forced you people to become human beings by producing in farms. They were not buying and taking away. They have gone now. You have lost that tradition. All you now do is oil. Who is drilling oil for you? The same Oyibo people. They drill oil, they sell anything they tell you the oil cost. That's what you pay. You are surplus as that. So why are you human beings? Tell me why you people are human beings in Nigeria. You want to do your road, Julius Berger, is it your company? The machine that you use, is it your own? Why are you human beings? If they say, okay, bomb Nigeria now, do you know the world will be better? If you remove all of us as we are now from the world, that the world may even breathe fresh air because we are a dependent people. We depend. We look at, we're waiting for COVID-19, let them dash us vaccine. Why can't we understand that the way we have lived, let me leave the colonial times, between 1960 and now, that we are barely trying to promote mere economic activities, which takes place in all societies. All societies must have economic activities, but all societies cannot experience development. So never ever again, after listening to this program, mistake development for economic growth. Because that is why you people are praising politicians who have not taken the first step, like Lodake says, to commence development in Africa. The first step they have not taken. They have left the politics, all about Africa, where colonialists left us. Those traditions that they mismanaged and left with us, we are worsening them even. So, your society has not... What is the idea of justice governing your society? I want anybody that will call it. Say, okay, Nigeria is a just society because this is. Sorry. Yes. So, if you call in, tell us your idea of justice that you think is in this country. Don't pity anybody. This thing is not. I'm talking to us as Nigerians. It's a collective problem that I'm discussing. That we are not able to put our house together. When I come again, we're going to see why you don't have development yet in Nigeria. What are the obstacles? And what needs to happen so that you can develop? Why are you not frustrated? Look at how people are living in the cities. Look at life everywhere. Don't you people think these are other countries are made? Because do you know a whole generation of Nigerians think that Nigeria is a normal society. They have never in their mind seen any other thing like people in Plato's cave other than Nigeria. So Nigeria is normal. For people, this is a normal society. Just cross over to Benin Republic. You come back here ashamed. You don't even need to go far. So what's your problem? Religious fanaticism, Boko Haram. If you measure all the indices of development, there is no place you will cite religion, which all of you have carried on your head. It is not one of the indices of development, 1 second. But that one, we have A1 as Nigerians. You see? Development is about what people produce, using their own energy, using their own resources, increasingly improving their standard of living in a way that nobody is left out without some compensation. That is why we talk about benefits for belonging to society. That's why I said in River State, all of us living in River State, I'm Wike is me. We're all interwoven in leadership and followership. So if I'm not feeding, Wike should be bothered. If there's any Rivers person that cannot feed, he should be worried. That is why we have government. We don't have government so that you spend billions on my behalf, meanwhile I can't eat. That's not why you have government. How many of them know this I'm telling you now? Between me feeding and you building, what do you think is more important for society? It is me feeding. It is my productivity that will generate the resources that you will then invest in infrastructure and all that. It is my productivity. So if I'm not productive and you cut off resources from Abuja and start using them when I'm unemployed suffering, that is not, in fact, that is the opposite of government. You see? Opposite of government. That owners of the wealth cannot feed, and then you are spending the money doing things that you think makes you consider important. Bad leadership. You have to, for example, send us. You know what Americans did? Americans came here, collected us as slaves, put us in plantations. We started generating raw materials for them. Productivity. They now invested and used those our resources, energy, to do what? To industrialize. I've advocated in many of my classes. Maybe we need slave camps. Maybe when you make us slaves, including me, and you produce maybe plantain enough for you to get 2-3 ships of plantain flour and take to Europe and America every year. Because when I travel, I see plantain flour all over the world. How many of those ones that I see in the supermarkets are produced from Nigeria? So we have market for slavery. Enslave us so that we produce. Farming is the easiest place to get our people to work. And then, I want to repeat so that I can open the floor. I really want people to contribute today. Development is not economic growth. No amount of roads you will build that will not say, okay, you have developed when human beings are suffering. No. Just move out of Port Harcourt. Move to any of these local communities. You will see people living 5th century style of living in the 21st century. That is exactly what development is not. You see, the neglect of human beings in Nigeria, from north to south, east to west, the underdeveloped human beings that we have, all the people you see in park loading vehicles, is that employment? All the people you see selling granola, moving around, is that how to be a human being? Or you win the election, you're not ashamed that You are not able to make people to live as human beings in your domain. I need to open this line so that people can start doing their own contribution, because if I continue, maybe anger will take over this program. Please, you need to call 081.
Hello?
Allow me to call the number. Hello?
My name is Richard. Yeah, listen very carefully.
Okay.
My name is Richard from Transamadi.
Richard, you're welcome.
See, all these things you have been talking about, you've been hearing all these things right from even how many years ago, we've been talking about the difference between development and growth. It is not today that we started hearing all these things. Let us say the truth. Let us hit where it is. Let us hit the point. The point is that oil and water cannot mix together. You can't bring in oil and bring in water together and say they are in the same country. It's not possible. So you cannot have killers, those who believe in killing, those whose religion accept killing, and you bring them together with people that is talking about peace. It doesn't work. Do you see what is happening in this country? This is what everybody is talking about. It's not about development and non-development. It's about bringing oil and water together. It doesn't work. The only thing we need in this country now is division. Let those people that believe in killing be on their own, and let the peacemakers be on their own. That's all. This country needs to be divided. That is the only reality. Let the Northerners be on their own, and the Southerners on their own.
Yeah, you remember what I said? I said subsequently we're going to look at the obstacles to development. You are going to the next stage of the discussion. I understand what you are saying, but maybe by the time we get to the obstacles to development in the country, maybe some of your ideas will become clear, whether they are the real reason why we don't have development in Nigeria. Yes, hello.
Prof, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Speak out.
This is Prince Nelson.
Yeah, please speak out.
This is Prince Nelson.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. The analysis of the case is very, very important, and I followed you up. But the truth about the whole thing is that I will blame the politicians because if they want the market to work or to make the country to work, the whole should work according to the way you just analyze. But the problem is that the politicians have been believing, from mouth to pocket, just like that. Hey, have never made any general points that will help the country through. That's why we have been in this condition for how many years? If you at least create, an avenue for us to challenge them, especially we the youth, because we are the only solution to change this narrative. That's only what I have to contribute. Thank you, Prof.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is what we do here is to encourage all of you to organize yourselves with a clear understanding of the challenges confronting our people. Organization of yourselves in small units and re-educating yourselves will help. This next 3 months, I'm going to do this. I believe that wherever you find yourself, whenever you see your colleagues talk, even these politicians, they also need to be educated. As they are listening to me, they now know that all those things they put around to clap for themselves, that they have not started to develop. As long as people in the state are unemployed, are suffering, cannot feed themselves, they know precisely that they have not started governance. Because governance should be about development, and development is about human beings. And what I'm saying about Rivers State is the same for Delta State, is the same for Kano State. The whole political economy of governance in Nigeria is guilty. The federal government is even a major problem in Nigeria. Yes. Hello.
Hello, Prof.
Yes.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm very, very happy. Today is a very, very happy day. You have come back into this program. This is a laudable program. And it's because you have really defined development. So most of the things we see and all these politicians deceive us are both. Because when I was even in Uniport, I was there in Uniport under the tutelage of Prof. Aki.
Yes.
He told us clearly, development is all about about the human being.
Correct.
the basic need of man. The satisfaction of when the basic need of man is not there, whatever you are doing, you are wasting your time.
Correct.
So I am very, very, very happy. Most of us talk about ethnic, use religion. All those are the tools that they use to deceive us.
Correct.
So that they divert our attention. So when they divert attention, we'll be looking at those ethnic, our neighbor.
Yes.
Our neighbor is not our problem.
Correct.
Our friend is not our problem. The problem is the leaders who have decided to popularize this society. So I'm very, very happy for this program. I'm just hoping that the program will come to stay so that we can actually understand what is the real problem that we have.
Exactly.
I appreciate you. More push to your elbow.
Thank you, comrade. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes. Can I just say, make one point? You see, as we progress in this program, you will notice that some of our thinking, our understanding of the issue have come to fall into the class of what I call false consciousness. And once you have false consciousness, your interpretation of reality will also be affected. In the north, I said from north to south, east to west, development is at issue. How people react to their underdevelopment, their poverty, their economic reality can also therefore be a function of another false consciousness that comes in the name of religion. So if you need to therefore get people to develop, you will have to attack those sources of false consciousness. No society can manage development without, first of all, bringing a state that will be above those false consciousness. Hello.
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 Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Good
fully.
morning.
Yes.
God bless you. This is CJ.
CJ, go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? One question because you are a professor.
Why not?
The fault is from who? From from the pharmacies, eh?
The fault for
right?
the fault for our not developing.
Yes, from who? From pharmacies.
Everybody.
Okay. Let me not. No, not everybody. The fault is from the leaders. Okay.
Both.
Now, let me ask you. Listen. Where is Ibeto Cement? Where is Atlas Cement? Where is Ego Cement? Where is Michelin? Where is farmers? Farmers cannot go to farm because of herdsmen kill.
Yes.
Everywhere. Nobody talk.
Yes.
Now, Dangote cement, Dangote granite, Dangote tomato, Dangote oil, Dangote palm oil, Dangote this and that. Only Dangote. Does Dangote produce cement?
I've condemned those monopolies. I've condemned them.
Listen.
Yes.
Now, where is Michelin? Who pursue Michelin? Where is the seaport in East? Where are they? Is pharmacies or me and you? Am I the person that closed those things? Where is Ibeto Cement? Okay, now I can remember many years ago, somebody went to bush and use leave and construct radio, and the radio was talking. They arrested the guy. Now, remember, can you go to maybe on the road? You see small children. They use this battery and construct this what they call payloader, and it's working. I don't know human beings. Are you talking of youth? Then it's what are you telling me? The best thing to do, Prof, listen to me.
I'm listening.
The best is to divide this country. Then how can spacemen kill and people cannot go to how much is one bag of cement? How much is one bag of Gary? How much is one bag of rice? Or how much is one cup? So people cannot go to farm. Spacemen kill and they want to give them amnesty. They give them amnesty. They rent, they go to your farm and destroy. They went to my farm at home, destroy my farm. And if you talk, who will do it? Who will do it? Pharmacists. Then if you talk, they kill you. If you gather, if you gather together, they shoot you. They call police and shoot you. They call army. They call everybody. Who will stand?
Thank you,
Professor,
my friend.
who will stand?
My
Who will
friend.
come and stand?
Thank you very much. See, I understand the point you have made. You know, I said we are going to look at obstacles to development in this country. This thing we are doing is a series. Some of your points are touching already on the obstacles. What are the reasons why we are not developing as a people? Those things will come up. As they come up, an analysis will show whether they can be overcome or not. But I'm just saying, let's understand. For example, you talked about Dangote cement, Ibeto cement, and all that. Of course, the state can allow itself to be dominated by powerful bourgeoisies who dominate also with their power of money. It is all over the world. When you don't have an independent state, a state built on a proper foundation, which is one of the reasons we'll analyze. You remember I talked about state building problems. When you have a state that is dominated either by particular interests or dominated by false consciousness of particular people in a particular region, that state will not bring about development. So I talked about refinery last week in passing, and I said, why do we don't have Shell refinery, Ajib refinery, all these who are drilling oil in Nigeria, they have refineries they are sponsoring abroad. Why don't they do it in Nigeria? Again, it is about dominating interests, the quality of interest and all that. So if we want to discuss how to move Nigeria forward, those things will come out with time. There is no way you can allow cattle move around. First of all, it's not even healthy for the cattle. It's not healthy for the human being. I've said all those things. These are issues that must be controlled. You see, so my friends, understand that I mentioned the word self-reliance. The self-reliance we talk about in development is at all levels. Hello? No. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon.
You're welcome. Tony. Welcome, Tony.
I love what you're saying on the radio, but I want to tell you something. I know you have good intention by your discussion that you are bringing up on radio. But from your word, you people are saying there, you people are being conservative because of the fear of NDC. Because I believe before you come to talk, there are things you are not permitted to say because of the 5 million you people will pay. You know, if you talk about the thing that the problem of Nigeria is the masses, how is the masses the problem of Nigeria? The problem of Nigeria is not the masses. The Bible says, when the foundation be destroyed, what will the righteous do? The foundation is already destroyed. Let's go back and visit the foundation. Your constitution said, we Nigerians, we the people. Am I part of the people that wrote the constitution? It was imposed on us. It is when we agree together and say we want to live together. And the constitution is drafted, and now it will be subject to referendum. But when I sign to it, then we now agree on the way forward. This is where we want to be. This is what we want to do. You know? So when we agree on this, now we are going back to the foundation to decide to continue on a path where we want to go to. That's everybody coming together to agree that this is what we want. You know? I left Nigeria as a youth. When I was younger, I was a clearing agent in Lagos. I see the things that is happening in Lagos. As a clearing agent, then I go to clear my consignment as a clearing agent in the port. I go there, I pay my duty, and they give me additional duty to pay because I am from the east. Now the northerner will go and pay 10,000, while I pay 70,000. They will release this on consignment. When I look at this thing, I was so angry. I left Nigeria at the age of 25 to go out because what is happening is not good. I get consignment from my customers. I need to look for an Alhaji, go to his house to beg him to help me clear this consignment while I'm in Nigeria. You see people taking things from the port without paying duty because they are from the north. We from the south here, you pay duty, they give you extra duty. You are a northerner, you clear your goods from the port without even paying the MPA charges and everything. You release your, but you can. My brother, let us not deceive ourselves. We are not. Let us divide this thing. If we put a stop, in Abidjan, there is something they say. It's a unity is when we come on a round table on a cup of coffee and I agree on a thing. When we agree on this, now we work together.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend. You see, while I agree, I said we will look at the obstacles. Remember that what we like. If you talk about foundation, on this same program last week, I said without proper constitutional arrangement, which is something about the foundation, you have not started state building. When you want to build this state, all those things you people are raising, they have to be addressed. I even said in some cases, you will need international mediation. In South Africa, when they were trying to overcome apartheid, there were international observers. In Nigeria, we gather big men. They don't even look for the brilliant people with ideas. They gather the biggest men, so-called biggest men from the regions, put them together. They say they are doing constitutional conference. I laugh. Constitution is an intellectual thing. It's not a big man thing. But Nigerians think it's for big men. Hello? Hello? Okay, so my friends, be patient with what we are trying to do. I understand the issues people are raising. There is no way we can rebuild Nigeria with any group dominating another group. It's not possible. The constitutional arrangement that we suit Nigeria must have a weak center. Must, not optional. So this unitary arrangement that people are having, they must go. They must go for a weak center. They might even have to revert to some kind of order that empowers the regions, where regions become the basis of. So how to deal with Nigeria's problem is for the educated ones, the ordinary people like me and you, to understand what the issues are. I don't need to wait for Buhari to understand what I'm saying before Nigeria can change. It is the thousands and millions of you that will then form the vanguard of what we want to achieve. I don't need to wait for Governor Wiki to understand what I'm saying before the pressure for transformation will be unleashed on society. Hello?
Yeah, the great Prof.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. Prof. Well, I am praying, sir. I know some changes will come, but please don't develop hypertension before it comes. My name is J.A.J. See, Prof, Nigeria is the only country in the world where people will gather and they want to steal money or they want to thief money. They first pray, Muslim will pray, Christian will pray before they start stealing. Hey, there was a stealing in the name of the Lord. Amen. See, Prof.
But JJ, you know that religion is, as practiced in Nigeria, is also a source of exploitation of the ordinary people.
We know. We'll get there now.
So everything will change. If you want to build a country, religion will feed the impact of that process. Everything will feed the impact of that process. It is to force that process to start using your consciousness and my consciousness and the ordinary people's consciousness. Hake says development is about how the people, a process through which the people, using their own energy and resources, improve their civilization, create higher civilizations for themselves. So that's why I said the problem is with the people. They need awareness.
Yes, the people is even the biggest problem, Prof.
Yes.
Because I've seen where people were arrested for stealing our commonwealth. And the same people will say, leave them now, naive festive. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
These are common people that may not even have transport from Rupoku to Borokiri and come back. But they are defending somebody that allegedly stole 13 billion. And you imagine what 13 billion can do for somebody's life. How many industry can that build? How many refinery? How many of these? You understand what I'm saying? So whether there are groups that divide, that believe in killing or they don't believe in killing, they are also killing the same group. The same group you think that believe in killing are also killing their own people you think. So it's not about whether we break or we don't break. It's the same thing. See, Prof, we have a group that is agitating in the Southeast now that they want this, they want that. How many of the states in the Southeast are well governed? So you think by the time you break out, those people will not still be there as the big boys to rule over you? So until we have that consciousness, like you say, and call a spade, we'll never make any headway. The people that are causing this problem are in every region in this country. So which region is developed now if we don't have the same people in all the regions? Tell me one region in this country that is developed. So it's not about whether this will come from here or this will come from here. We need to tackle our own people. Just like what happened in 1966 January, where this one will go here and take care of the people, this one will go this side and take care of people, and everybody move on. But that division, sorry.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you, JJ. See, I cannot come on radio. Somebody talked about paying 5 million. You know, it's not me that will pay the 5 million. It's the owner of the station, the man who sweated and put up this together. So I'm not entitled to come on air and even say things that are for private discussions. I am very clear that there is a major problem with this country. And I'm saying that problem, one of it is that we are mistaking economic activities going around for development. And that is a major, major problem with what we are doing. And this crisis of mistaking economic growth for development is a problem that journalists need to overcome, politicians need to overcome, fishermen need to overcome, farmers need to overcome. So it's a general problem that we praise people for citing projects. Yes, hello.
Prof.
Hello.
This is Eze from Eche. I
welcome.
want you to always listen to Love FM on Mondays from 4 o'clock. That is from 4 o'clock every Monday. Listen to Love FM. That is the kind of program I want you to bring on radio. That is what that man is doing every 4 o'clock. That's the kind of program I want you to bring on radio. It's not about whether Nigeria will be. There is no reformation that will take place in Nigeria that will make Nigeria better. Do you understand? You have a governor who told us that these Fulani herdsmen carry AK-47 to defend themselves. Is there any? That is a governor that is enlightened, an elite, and you are this.
See, my friend, that thing about that governor, many people didn't understand what was happening. He was debating, El-Rufai was debating with an imam who was talking about amnesty for bandits. And the man was saying, people who have learned how to carry guns and get millions through hostage and all that, you want them to go back to carry cattle and be getting 100,000 naira a year, that they will not do it, because he was arguing for capital punishment for them. Now, people took that thing that El-Rufai said without understanding the total context of it, and it is all over social media. You see our society, misinformation. He was saying that they need to be dealt with, eliminated, because they can't change. But our people are not saying, El-Rufai is saying that we are wasting time trying to change them. Please, I don't want to go into that kind of misinformation. But what I'm just saying, my friends, is that people are disillusioned with Nigeria. People are so angry with Nigeria. That's what has come out. And this is exactly what this program is all about. Your genuine feelings are now coming. When we run through this program, if the options of rebuilding Nigeria, if you think it is a tea party, it is something that will be wishful thinking, that you don't understand where we are going. All I'm just trying to let us know is, see what development is all about, so that when we start going, hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, welcome, yes.
Yeah, this is Honorable Chris Okri, calling from Abia State.
Welcome.
Yeah, let me talk about the social transformation and the way you are analyzing this issue. See, I am surprised that NBC allow you to be saying this type of raw truth in a radio station. If you reason very well about me, this is the reason why many radio stations are no longer picking my call. They have marked my number. It's on their screen. Once they know that it's me, they will not pick my call. They will be doing another thing without knowing that I'm watching them on their studio. When that phone runs finished, they will now, because I believe in raw truth. You see this thing that you are saying? Make sure the road that you follow to go to your house, you didn't disclose it to anybody, because this is raw truth. And in Nigeria, hates truth. You cannot tell me that you bring people that believe in killing, and you bring me that believe in God, God can fight for me. You bring us together. These people will be killing people. Now, these people will be killing these people. These ones will be realizing, leave it in the God's hand. Who does that? We should tell ourselves the truth. Nigerian government under this administration and the other administration since 1960, Nigeria has not worked. And mark my word, it will not work. You're just wasting your time there. Go and do another better thing. Leave Nigeria. They don't want Nigeria to progress. Look at how our old rulers.
My friend, your point is well taken. You are very skeptical about what we are doing, but you see, we will do it if events turn out to be along the line that we're trying to build Nigeria. It is clear that we cannot build Nigeria. Yeah, you would have done your part. But for me, I am very convinced that the ordinary people, wherever they are the same. The people who they have given false consciousness in the name of religion, you can moderate all those things through government policies. The state can even abolish religion if people don't know what to call state. A state properly set up can abolish religion, can indoctrinate people to think differently from the way they have always thought since they were born. That's what happened in China. That's what happened in Soviet Union. That's what happened in Cuba. Even the American society is changing gradually. You see, so every state can treat individuals as isolated individuals and formulate policies that will create a different social order. Without that belief that it is possible, then we have no need to even become human beings. It is because to build a great society is possible that we even engage in these struggles. So I want to thank everybody for participating today. Next week, we'll come up with something. Remember, we will eventually discuss the obstacles. Why can't Nigeria develop? All these your fears, all these things people are saying, we will analyze it by next week. What are the obstacles to Nigeria's development? Maybe when we get to that level, more of your ideas will be interrogated. Thank you very much.
Are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
This is Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News.
Hello and good afternoon. This is the World News on your Premium Talk Radio, Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt. I am Annie Abdul Salam. In the headlines, federal government urges Nigerians to stop attributing criminal activities in Nigeria to ethnicity. Police arrest some protesters at Lekki Toll Gate as Nigerians kick against its reopening. Rivers State government sets up tripartite committee to negotiate new minimum wage for Rivers workers. And on the foreign scene, United States Senate expected to deliver verdict in Donald Trump's impeachment. And now the details. The United Kingdom Supreme Court has ruled that polluted Nigerian communities can sue oil giant Shell in English courts. The decision overturns a previous appeal court ruling and represents a victory after a 5-year legal battle. The Niger Delta communities say decades of pollution have severely impacted their lives, health, and environment. Shell, in its defense, had argued that it was only a holding company for a firm that should be judged under Nigerian laws. The Supreme Court ruled that the cases brought by the Bile community and the Ogale people of Ogoni land against Royal Dutch Shell were arguable and could proceed in the English courts. Though Royal Dutch Shell did not dispute that pollution had been caused, it argued that it could not be held legally responsible for its Nigerian subsidiary and that the pollution was the result of crude oil theft, pipeline sabotage, and illegal refining. The Nigerian Bar Association has filed a suit to challenge the extension of the tenure of the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, by President Muhammadu Buhari. The suit is filed against the President Buhari and the Police Service Commission and the Inspector General of Police. The NBA, in a statement by its President, Olumide Akpata, said it is seeking a judicial resolve of the constitutionality of the President's extension of Adamu's tenure as the IGP for 3 months. Adamu had on the 1st of February 2021 reached his 35 years of service as a member of the Nigerian police force. The NBA argues that the President's extension of Adamu's tenure by 3 months is unconstitutional. The federal government has urged Nigerians to stop giving ethnic coloration to criminal activities in the country. The Minister of Interior, Beni Aregbesola, gave the advice when he received a delegation from the Executive Intelligence Management Course 14 of the National Institute for Security Studies, led by its commandant, Ayodele Adeleke, at his office in Abuja. Aregbesola said that Nigerians must equate security with the global picture of a society that puts its emphasis on the dignity of man and human development. He advised the NISS to develop a policy analysis that will ensure adequate reorientation of an average Nigerian to see crimes and criminality as they are. Aregbesola urged the institution to help Nigerians change the narrative of crime tied to a particular ethnic group and heating up the society unnecessarily. Following the appointment of the new service chiefs, the Defense Headquarters says the operations of the armed forces is equally being reorganized to tackle the security challenges of the country effectively. The coordinator, Defense Media Operations Major General John Eneche, in a conference in Abuja, explained that the reorganization includes carrying out strategic, administrative operation and logistic adjustments to improve the security situation in the country. Eneche said troops involved in various operations across the country have continued to sustain their efforts in the fight against insurgency, banditry, and all other crime threatening the peace of the country.
The armed forces of Nigeria, working with other security agencies, have also continued to sustain the onslaught against the insurgents. Within the period, troops of Operation Lafia Adole on various occasions made contact and engaged some Boko Haram, Islamic State West African province criminal elements. In the various encounters, more terrorist enclaves have been destroyed along with their logistics facilities, and scores of their fighters neutralized through ground and air strikes at different locations in the northeast zone. Troops of the armed forces of Nigeria and other security agencies operating in the north-central zone of the country have equally sustained the fight against armed banditry and other criminal vices with remarkable results. Several combined land and air operations were conducted, which resulted in the neutralization of scores of armed bandits and recovery of caches of arms and ammunition.
Police have arrested some protesters at the Lekki toll gate as Nigerians call for the reopening of the toll to be suspended. The federal government and police had earlier kicked against the planned protest. Journalists were prevented from getting close to the van where the protesters were being held. Entertainer and activist Debo Adebayo, popularly known as Mr. Macaroni, was among the protesters arrested at the Lekki toll gate. The comedian had joined other protesters at the toll gate to oppose the decision of the Lagos State Judicial Panel of Inquiry to reopen the facility and hand it over to the Lekki Concession Company. Mr. Macaroni on his Instagram Live questioned if the Nigerian government is running a military regime while in a police van. His phone and that of other protesters were later seized by the police, ending his Instagram Live session. The Director General of the Progressive Governors Forum, Salihu Lukman, says the likes of former Minister of Aviation Femi Fani-Kayode do not deserve to be accommodated in the All Progressives Congress because he does not share the values the party was built on. Lukman said this in a statement where he explained that it was now public knowledge that many members and leaders of the governing party have made it known that the former minister lacks the rudiments of progressive politics. According to him, while the APC cannot claim to be a perfect political party because it is populated by human beings vulnerable to mistakes, it can at least boast of being a platform where members can air their views without fear of retribution. He denounced Fani Kayode's approach to politics. More details have emerged over the explosion that occurred at the facility of a filling station located in Oyibo local government area of River State. Our correspondent Chinedu Iwona, who visited the facility, reports that the explosion occurred at the truck maintenance area where a faulty empty truck was being serviced. Following the incident, the River State Commissioner for Energy and Natural Resources, Dr. Peter Midi, has visited the facility to inspect the level of damage caused by the explosion. Commissioner, who spoke to newsmen after the inspection, said the safety measures taken by the company prevented the incident from escalating.
We are meant to understand that when this spark happened yesterday, there are some persons who were around doing the assignment and they had some injuries. We've not been able to get to the hospital to assess exactly the extent of the injury they have. But from what we are told now, it was not so fatal. There are minor injuries that we're expecting that very soon they will be healthy and they'll come back to work. One thing we observe here that has also helped the situation is that a lot of safety procedures were taken into consideration. And because those safety procedures were taken into consideration, the explosion could not lead into fire that will be able to gulf the environment. What happened is that they were able to contain it because the company has a lot of safety procedures, safety facilities that helped them to be able to convert the situation.
Also speaking, the managing director of the filling station, Chief Obasi Lawson, who disclosed that the explosion was caused by negligence by the welder, dismissed reports that lives were lost in the explosion, which he described as a minor incident.
So that's why he came. But the incident is nothing to worry about, just minor incident. When the wedding works, when they were going on, just Mr. Let's say, I can put it this way, that is the carelessness of the staff that is doing the job. Ordinarily, there was nothing. We have our safety measures are just in place. We have enough safety measures. We have everything. Just if you adhere to the safety measures of this company, I think for one day there will be no problem. Just the man that is doing the wedding, he thought that it's a minor thing and that he can just do it. And when he's about to do that, there is a little spark, that made the tanks that shifted the tanks. So the thing was a little minor thing. There was nothing. There is no loss of life.
Our correspondent reports that the affected area has been cordoned off for further investigation. The government of Rivers State says it has agreed with the Rivers State Council of the Nigerian Labour Congress to address all pending labour concerns in the state. The secretary to the state government, Tami Denagogo, said an agreement on the implementation of the 30,000 naira national minimum wage, which took effect on the 1st of January 2020, has been executed. The secretary to the state government disclosed this in a statement after a meeting between the state government and Labour in Port Harcourt. According to the SSG, a tripartite committee to undertake detailed discussions of all outstanding issues has also been set up. The statement issued by the press officer in the office of the SSG, Juliana Massey, noted that the tripartite committee will resume sitting next week. The palace of Upata Kingdom in Ahoda East local government area of Rivers State has been vandalized allegedly by some youths of Edoha community in the kingdom. Chairman of Upata Kingdom Council of Chiefs and Traditional Rulers, Enyi Jeremiah, in an interview with correspondent Sandra Kenneth, said the perpetrators of the act came in disguise of a protest. Jeremiah claimed that the youths were protesting the discontinuation of illegal refining of crude oil in their community by His Royal Majesty Eze Felix Otuwarikpo.
Community use vandalized an incident along the highway. So along the line, the youth gathered and started screaming that this accident would have not happened. The emergency has given them hand to carry on illegal bunkering. So what they did is to blockade the road. No vehicle could pass, nobody could enter, and then carry the dead body to the palace. The palace started destroying the building under construction. Windows up and down of the building, it's an upstairs building. The whole windows of the building destroyed. The tiles meant for completion of the job vandalized, and the POP ceiling destroyed too. Because the way event took place is something that seems it has been planned before the period. Nobody's involved in the accident. They don't discuss about the accident, only to carry the body to the palace and start destroying the building.
A Rivers State High Court sitting in Port Harcourt has declared as illegal the dethronement of the Amainabo of Miniama community in Asarito local government area of the state, Iboroma Bokubo, by some members of the community. But the court held that the suspension of the Amainabo of Miniama by the people led by Chief Probin AK remains valid, following the allegations raised by the people. Justice O.S. Benson, while delivering judgment in a suit brought by the Amainabo, said the defendants did not prove that there was a general meeting held before the dethronement of the king. Justice Benson issued an injunction against the defendants, restraining them from interfering in the activities of the claimant and restrained the Amainabo from parading or performing the functions of an Amainabo until the issue raised before the suspension are resolved, ordering the people to go back home and resolve the issues. About the Tonya George said they will obey the decision of the court, provided the claimant will also obey the judgment.
We have heard what the court have said. We will apply for the judgment, and the community and our lawyer will study the judgment. So we are okay with the judgment. We are a peace and a lovely community. He is still a member of Minama community, as suspended Amainabo, as at what the court has affirmed. So being suspended, the community, we are ready. We are open-handed and we are ready for his reactions. But we are not violent. We will not take laws into our hands, and we will continue to do. But we must study the judgment, and the community will make it a positive decision on what the judge have said, in considering with other judgments, especially from the Court of Appeal, which we feel that is a superior judgment to this court. But we will also use this opportunity to call on the suspended Amainabo to respect the judgment judgment, because this judgment has affirmed that he should not parade himself and others, pending when these issues are resolved with us.
The Amainabo of Miniama community in Asaitoro local government area of the state, Iboroma Bokubo, was suspended by his people in 2012 on allegation of mismanagement of fund, refusal to render accounts to the community, and writing of unwarranted petitions against sons and daughters of the community before his dethronement in 2015. You're listening to the World News on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, more news, foreign and sport stories. Stay with us.
Every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today 95.1 FM.
Fourteen minutes has gone past 12. You're still listening to the World News here on Today 95.1 FM. 12 out of the 72 political parties who were delisted by the River State Independent Electoral Commission from participating in the April 17th local government elections have dragged the commission to the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, are also a party to the suit, seeking interpretation of the judgment of appeal court sitting in Abuja, which restated some political parties earlier delisted in the party. The 12 political parties are seeking an order restraining the commission from conducting the local government elections pending the determination of the court. Our correspondent reports that the court is yet to fix a date for hearing of the suit. The appeal court sitting in Port Harcourt has adjourned to the 23rd of February 2021 to hear 5 appeals by the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State against 5 sets of defendants in different suits. Our correspondent reports that some of the appeals include the appeal brought by APC against Ima Deyai and 4 others, Bariaye, Nora Magin, and 4 others, Na Okpara Eburuka, and 2 other suits. When the matter came up, the 3-man appeal panel led by Justice H.S. Samani granted some of the motions by both councils, including motion of transfer of records of the court and withdrawal of stay of proceedings. Our correspondent Uchendu Ejowo reports that on the motion for stay of execution sought by APC against the ex-party order granted by Justice Okobule Basam of a Rivers State High Court in Port Harcourt, the appeal panel also fixed the 23rd of February for its hearing. Counsel to APC, Chimenem Jerome, gave details of what transpired in court.
There are 5 appeals that came up before the Court of Appeal sitting in Port Harcourt. The 5 appeals, all APC was appellant in all of them. In all the appeals, the Court of Appeal has adjourned to 23rd day of February for the hearing of the appeals. The only appeal that has motion for stay of execution is the appeal to All Progressives Congress against one Naopara Eburuka, who went before the trial High Court sitting in Port Harcourt to ask for an interim order ex parte to restrain the party from conducting membership registration and revalidation exercise in Rivers State. The court has granted us the application to depart from the rules and regularize our records. The court has also adjourned it to the 23rd day of February for hearing of the appeal. Now, when the court was to hear the application for stay of the execution of that order made without jurisdiction, the counsel to the first and second respondents mentioned to the court that they have not been served that particular motion for stay. The court decided to adjourn the matter to 23rd and gave appellants 4 days to file a written address.
The respondents in the appeal by the APC, who claim to be members of the party, have dragged the APC and its National Caretaker Committee Chairman, May Buni, before a High Court sitting in Port Harcourt to stop the APC from conducting membership registration and revalidation exercise in Rivers State and restrain the Caretaker Committee Chairman in the state, Isaac Abbott Obobola, from acting. Meanwhile, the All Progressive Congress has said the increase of violent reactions following the preparations for the primaries of the People's Democratic Party is a proof that they have always been responsible for the electoral violence in the state. In a statement by the spokesman for the APC, Ogbon Nanwuke, the violence on the streets on accounts of the PDP has left many sane Rivers people in shock. The APC said it is aware that the PDP issued 1 nomination form in each of the wards across the state and also appointed those who will be fielded by it, saying this is the reason why party members have attacked the PDP state secretariat. The family of Douglas Kogo Onu Abaraku and the entire Rumodogo town, Rumodogo 2 in Odegu clan in Emoha local government area of River State has announced the transition of His Royal Highness Douglas Gogo Onu Abaraku Nyeweli Rumodogo II. According to a statement issued by the family, Eze Onu Abaraku died at the age of 112. The funeral rites commenced yesterday with a service of songs at his residence. His remains will be received today at his maternal home at Late Njoku Egonu Hall, Rumodogu 1 at 8 a.m. and also arrive at 8:30 a.m. at Abaraku compound in Rumodogu 1. The body will also be received at 9 a.m. by Rumodogu Council of Chiefs and Elders. In a statement signed by Prince Douglas, the leader of Emoha Legislative Assembly, he said all COVID-19 protocols shall be strictly observed. And now to the foreign scene. The United States Senate is expected to deliver a verdict in Donald Trump's impeachment trial this weekend after his lawyers argue that the former president bears no responsibility for an attack by supporters on Congress. This followed 2 days of evidence from Democratic impeachment managers showing a video footage of the mob assault against the Capitol on January 6th. The Senate was due to reconvene on Saturday at 10 a.m. for debate on whether to allow witness testimony, then closing arguments. Expectations were that a verdict could be voted the same day, with indications so far that the Democrats will not get enough Republican support for a conviction. Still in the United States, the Biden administration has said it will gradually allow asylum seekers into the United States currently forced to wait in Mexico. Biden said it will begin processing about 25,000 people with active cases next week. Asylum seekers will first be required to register and pass a COVID-19 test before being allowed to cross the border. The move reverses the much criticized policies of ex-President Donald Trump. The Migrant Protection Protocols program was enacted in 2019, deterring will-be asylum seekers from coming to the United States. And now to end the news, here's a summary of the major stories. The federal government has urged Nigerians to stop attributing criminal activities to Nigeria, to any Nigerian ethnicity. Police have arrested some protesters at the Lekki toll gate as Nigerians kick against its reopening. And you heard that the Rivers State government has set up a tripartite committee to negotiate the new minimum wage for Rivers workers. And on the foreign scene, the United States Senate is expected to deliver the verdict in Donald Trump's impeachment trial. And that was the news as edited by Ifunanya Obeme Ndukwe. For comments and inquiries, please call 0818-389-2850 or send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. Do not forget, you need to take responsibility. Do so by washing your hands frequently with soap under running water. Avoid touching your face and high contact surfaces to prevent the spread of coronavirus. I am Ani Abdusalam. You have a great afternoon.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.